My dear friends in Christ, on this Sunday we commemorate the Feast of Divine Mercy. So I thought it was interesting if we could make a short meditation, a short reflection about this feast and apply to our personal life. I'm reading here the diary of Sister Saint Faustina, and right in the beginning of the book, she tells a very interesting episode. She mentions that she joined first the congregation of Our Lady of Mercy, but later on she had doubts if this was her real vocation. Yeah, in fact, she had decided to leave the convent and to seek another congregation to live. And when she was in the evening before leaving on the next morning, she had a vision of Jesus. And Jesus appeared to her, according here to the page 47, appeared to her with wounds in his face, and large tears were falling on my bedspread. So tears from Jesus was falling on her bed. So she asked Jesus, Jesus, who has hurt you so? And Jesus answered, it is you who will cause me this pain if you leave this convent. It is to this place that I called you and nowhere else, and I have prepared many graces for you. And then she says, I beg pardon of Jesus and immediately changed my decision. So in that vision of Jesus suffering, having wounds in his face and tears, why? Because Sister Faustina, Saint Faustina, was not fulfilling her mission, her vocation. She wants to change to something else. And this we can apply to ourselves. The same happens to us. We make Jesus suffer when we do not follow our vocation. God never repeats himself. So for each of us, he has a special plan. And he gives us talents to fulfill that plan. And when we decide to take different path, well, things might not go well. Why? Because God gave us graces, many graces, which are linked to our vocation. But if we don't follow our vocation, we don't receive these graces, or we might not make proper use of these graces. And also, when we do not follow the plan that God has for each of us, most of the time we have a very sad life, because we are like a fish outside of the water. We are not using our talents. We are not using the gifts that Jesus gave us to fulfill that particular mission, that particular vocation. So everybody has a special vocation God gives to us. One vocation is universal. Everyone is called to be a saint. But then there are different types of saints. Each of us, we are unique. For example, let us imagine a lady, she has the vocation to be a mother. But there are many different types of mothers. Let us think about Saint Monica. Saint Monica, 17 years, praying and weeping for the conversion of her son. Wow, this is expiatory victim. This is Holocaust continuously for 17 years until finally he converted and became one of the greatest saints in the history of the church. That's amazing. But also there are other types of saints, mothers, like Saint Gianna Molla in Italy. She was a medical doctor. She was expecting a child, and she knew if she had that child, she would die during birth. But she did not want to go against God's law. And also she preferred to give her life so her child could survive. And that's what she did. And she died. So she offered her life for her child and offered her life to keep God's law. Amazing. That's unbelievable. But also there are different types of saints. Mothers like Mama Margarita or Saint John Bosco. When he became a priest, she said to him, son, you became a priest, you're going to have a lot of money going through your hands. Be careful. Remember, you are born poor and you're going to die poor. Very interesting. Vigilance. As a mother, she was worried that he could be corrupted by money. This is a different type of holiness. Also, another one, Donna Lucidia, the mother of Dr. Plinio, is extraordinary goodness, always thinking about her children, always thinking doing good to the others before herself. A very interesting episode in her life, and one day she fell from stairs and she broke her arm and her shoulder. She had to have surgery. In those days there was no anesthesia. She was in terrible, terrible pain. After surgery she was brought home and she was put in bed, and she was, again I repeat, in terrible pain. And her son, the little Plinio, came into the room to see his mother, and the first thing Donna Lucidia said, "My son, how are you? Did you take the medicine for your cold?" In the apex of her suffering, she was not worried about herself, she was not worried about her son. So then you can see four types of mothers, four types of holiness, four different paths to holiness. So this applies to us. So in this day of Divine Mercy, through the intercession of Saint Faustina, we should think, what God called me for? Am I fulfilling the call that God gave me? So I think this is a very good point of reflection on this feast. Okay, that's it, my friends. God bless you all and have a very holy Sunday. Salve Maria.